right, everyone, we are here on day 6, 19 hours in, and we are going to cover a couple of things where the game is currently at. I am going to try to get everything set up, and then we'll go over to the screen, but the primary thing that I want to show here is this amazing screen right here. I might have a little bit of audio doubling, but I'll try to fix that here shortly. All right, but this is where we're at right now, everybody. We are $10.3 million in. We are 6 days, 19 hours, and 34 minutes into the end game for Witcher Legacy. This is not a surprise. I said it would probably go for a week, and we are very close to getting into day 7. We are 4 hours, about 4.5 hours away from being into day 7 for a week of an end game. Now, what does that mean? It was a 3-week campaign, and now we are into the 4th week, and that week is an extended week. That's just the community and backers and new backers going in and pledging or upgrading their pledge to get us where we are at now. It is now officially the highest funded project on the Gamefound platform. Now, if you're also familiar with game crowdfunding projects like Kickstarter, the platform there, I believe that Frosthaven still has the record there. I haven't been on Kickstarter too much to follow the record-breaking status they have over there, but I think Frosthaven still holds that record. Nemesis Retaliation was the highest funded project on Gamefound until very recently, where Legacy took the mantle and continued the charge. So I am very impressed by what the community has been able to achieve alongside Go On Board, and I could completely reverse that and say it is an amazing achievement that Go On Board and the community have done together to make it where it is right now. And this in-game timer that you see up here has just been resetting at 10 minutes. So if anybody's unfamiliar with how the in-game works on Gamefound, is current backers before the timer started, and new backers if they provide a pledge, and if current backers upgrade their pledge in any way, every backer, current and new, prior to the end game, so those backers can upgrade their pledge and reset the timer once each backer, and all new backers that come in and provide a pledge will reset the timer one time. So it's not like people can go in there and just mash the add a new dice set or add an extra bit of money to reset the clock every time. And it's a reset to 10 minutes, not an additional amount of time. So we're going to go through for about an hour and just kind of look at some of the things that have been unlocked during the end game. And it is a amazing amount of effort on the part of Go On Board to give as much as they have to keeping everybody updated, to provide an ongoing campaign experience that is going to be a new standard. Everybody learns from everybody, so it's going to be something to, it's going to leave a legacy here on Gamefound. So let me get the page up here, and we'll kind of go through what it is that the campaign is providing and where it's currently at. So I do have a couple of windows open here I need to clear out just to get things set and ready. Alright, so this should be what is currently on the screen. I need to try and get my chat maybe above this screen here. I don't want to exit there. Alright, this should be what's being shown on the screen. Just checking that real quick. Yes, it is. Okay, so The Witcher Legacy by Go On Board. They are the development team behind The Witcher Old World. They're the development team behind The Witcher Path of Destiny. And they're the development team behind Cyberpunk 2077, the board game, which I am very excited for. Cyberpunk 2077 is my favorite video game of all time. I go back to Night City on the regular. I use that game as sort of a lifestyle. All right, let's wake up in Night City and go cause some chaos. I haven't played the entirety of the Witcher series to completion, but The Witcher Old World re-engaged my love of this game and its like the characters, the story, everything that the game provides is obviously well established. I'm not saying anything new to anybody about The Witcher. Hearts of Stone, Blood and Wine, I actually haven't touched yet. I played The Witcher 3 when it originally released, and I don't think I finished it. It was a very long game, and I think that's not exclusive to me. It does not put me in any position to say I know everything about the lore, but the board games, Go On Boards, The Witcher Old World, Path of Destiny, and now Witcher Legacy is going to be games that reignite my love of a good story. And Go On Board have a really good, proven record of great narrative games, great mechanics that just make the game feel like you're interacting with a lot more than you think it should. And the deck building tableau system of The Witcher Old World I really was very surprised by. I'm not much of a deck building fan. I think the closest I've got to really enjoying deck building is through Ascension and DC deck building. I'm not saying I hate them, I just wasn't always gravitating towards that kind of mechanic, but the mechanic for here is the deck building allows the player to gain the ability to interact differently in different phases of the Witcher Old World, and that just became a love of deck building and the way that the systems work to allow the player to move, to fight, and to interact with the different phases of the game world. So, and the narrative is there in The Witcher Old World. It is going to be multiplied by a large amount with over 700 pages of narrative, and they recently unlocked an application that will have a voice narration for all of that. And that was something recently released and unlocked by the community for the extended Endgame. Alright, so I know I've been rambling, it's kind of what I do, but yeah, please jump into chat at any time, drop comments, and I'll come back and check out what the community would like to see more of. I'm going to do these on the regular, depending on, certainly for however long the end game. I did, I think, day 2, day 3, day 4. I stopped on day 5, and then I didn't come down whenever day 6 actually rolled in, so now we're here on day 7 with the possibility of rolling into day 7 and having a full week. Now, even with the holiday coming up, it's an impressive achievement to be able to do that on a holiday where everybody's strapped for cash and are doing different things with their money, and people are still pledging on this thing. So we're well over 90 right now. I might have to count these. I don't think it's 86. So whenever a Gamefound project creates new content, they update the page. But they're on a holiday right now, and it's in the end game. And they've already told us that they'll give us a new updated image on an update. I believe it'll be update 36. What update are we at right now? Let's jump over here. Let's roll back up here to the top. So we're up at update 35 right now, and update 36, which will probably come next year. Everybody's on holiday, rightfully so, rightfully earned, and we'll get sort of updated numbers, officially updated, once they get back. But over 86 stretch goals unlocked. Yeah, Geralt, Yennefer, Vesemir are playable characters in the end game. The end game is after you've played through 40 plus hours, if you're really just pushing through. Maybe you don't do all the extra side quests and all the expanded narrative scenarios. Then you'll probably get right around 40 to 50 hours. Now, if you add everything else in there and you add all the expansions and You get in on the Kickstarter in this crowdfunding on Gamefound. Now, Kickstarter is going to be something I probably just come out because people are crowdfunding it. So I'll try to separate the Kickstarter platform from a Gamefound platform. But this particular crowdfunding project has added a lot of free stuff. So if you get in now on the Endgame, even because it's still considered live, you can get this live campaign free add-on, adding a 5th player, which also allows you to go into the Endgame with Geralt, Yennefer, and Vesemir. It's just, again, setting aside canonical, non-canonical, they have clearly said that these characters are non-canonical based on the time that The Witcher Legacy takes place. Ciri made it into The Witcher Old World as a playable character. Again, non-canonical, but they made it work. Again, everything's approved by CDPR. Go on board are working very, very closely with CD Projekt Red to make sure that everything is lore focused and, true to the lore. But again, this is a little bit of fan service and a big thank you to the community. Hey, play as these characters if you'd like to, but realize it's not part of the main campaign. So after you finish the main campaign story, you can actually go into an endless in-game mode to where you're just doing what Witchers do, fighting monsters. And you can bring in these other characters. You can bring your character from the 40, 50 plus hour campaign that you've done, and you've built them up and leveled them up. Again, this is a legacy game, so every choice that you made, every upgraded card that you made, every sticker that you put on there to make that card even stronger, you can keep all that together, and you can continue to level them up in the in-game mode. And they've also added more bosses to the in-game mode. Before there was just one. Adir was there to fight, and now they've got a bunch of other monsters that you can add to it. And they've added companions, so Triss Marigold's in there, Karametz is in there, Yarpen's in there, Mousek's in there, there's Dandelion there. They have these companions in there now for the in-game. And again, this is just to throw some flavor into the game. They're not trying to rewrite the lore of Witcher, they're spicing it up. And again, this is community requested, highly requested parts to add to the game. And that's what's really great about Gamefound is great about crowdfunding platforms in general, which is Gamefound's. I think any crowdfunding project should be doing it with the community. You need the community to make it happen, and Go On Board is using the community's suggestions and implementing them and making the game better for it. And they appreciate the feedback. Constructive feedback is so very valuable, as long as it's constructive. Now, with any luxury product with a perception of value, there's always going to be complaints on specific things. But even those, I think negative feedback is probably more valuable than positive feedback because it lets them know what they need to change. They appreciate the positive feedback because it tells them, yeah, we're doing things the way that the community wants it to be done. But they're also changing course based on community feedback, and that's how a crowdfunding platform should work. You should be taking inputs from your community and letting the community make the game possible. I have seen other companies to where they're just using Kickstarter and Gamefound as a pre-order platform, and nothing is being changed or taken on board, but they are taking it Go On Board. All right, so there's 4 Witchers that we're going to be playing as through this 40-hour plus campaign, and you could play it solo. So if those solo players, I'm a very heavy solo player. I like to invest in games that can be played by me continuously. If the group wants to move on to another game, I can return to it. So if there's 4 Witchers that you can play as and you play solo, you've got 40 hours, 40 hours, 40 hours, 40 hours. That's a lot of hours. And you can also just plug in players. You can bring those Witchers up to speed of where you are if you want to plug another player and make it a 2-player in the middle of your solo campaign. It's a plug-in, drop in, drop out kind of game. I think any game you can make that work. If it's going to officially say this is what you need to do to bring that Witcher up to speed, because they are going to implement for the end game that you can just bring any Witcher or any player up to the level of what they need to be to actually participate. The Brothers Murph, Professor Mag, Man vs. Meeple, all the expected influencers have dropped in here to give you videos. So while Gamefound has a great system to allow creators to provide constant updates, Go On Board has done it in spades. They are masters at keeping communication flowing. They were giving updates on the regular, and normally those updates always came with a video with Lukas Wozniak giving a video summarization of everything that's been updated for that day, because they were breaking records and they were unlocking stretch goals very, very quickly. So you have the ability to pledge an all-in. You have the ability to pledge a core standard. So the miniatures are what you're going to get in an all-in, because it upgrades. If you get the all-in bundles, they're going to come with the deluxe version. Deluxe versions are the miniatures. You've got the core deluxe. You've got the all-in deluxe. You've got the gameplay all-in deluxe. You've got shaded versions. You've got the ability to add expansions a la carte if you so choose. And I'm going to go through these stretch goals here. Let me kind of zoom this out a little bit. I'm going to try to keep my Xbox here in the background, and it should add a little bit of background music, but my controller, if it dies, which what I need to do is get my Xbox to stop telling the controller to go to sleep. I'll just have to like tap the controller to keep it awake. Alright, so there are add-ons that you can put together, and what those are, you could, if you get in on a late pledge. We're just in the live campaign, albeit extended live campaign, but even if you can't get in on it now, this pledge manager, when they open up the pledge manager, it'll allow you to jump in later. You'll miss out on some of the free content. It'll then become paid, but you can still get the exclusives, which are only a part of those who back the game. So you won't lose out on anything if you get in on the project before it closes the pledge manager, but some of the stuff that is free content will not be available. Like right now, it's this Legends pack right here with Yennefer, Geralt, and Vesemir. It's free for those that back during the live campaign, including this extended endgame. There's a Gorgon, kind of a poisonous bull-looking character or monster that you can add to your pledge later, but it was free for those who followed the game prior to it going live and who backed within the first 24 hours, but I believe they extended that to the 48 hours. So, but again, you can add this stuff as a paid add-on in the late pledge manager, but you can still get the Vesemir, Geralt, and Yennefer Legends pack for free right now if you jump in. And the game is massive. There's so much to this game that you can't lose out on this one. All right, so this ultimate stretch goal is the one that recently got announced. This was a highly requested addition to the game, is to have a narrative application to where you have a narrator reading every line, ash and dust, I tell you. And it'll be the same everywhere, with the truth about those monsters out there in the world in writing. What is that? I can barely read that. I should probably read something that actually, let's zoom in on here. What is it that they're actually showing here? I'm trying to read it as a distance. Ash and dust, I tell you. And it'll be the same everywhere, with the truth about those monsters out in the world in writing. In writing? People will finally see things clearly and wipe out their Witcher plague. I almost thought that said Witcher pledge. Yeah, this is going to be great to have over 700 pages. I think it's close to 900 pages now with all the additional scenarios, all the extra side quests and scripts that they're adding. I think it's close to 900 pages. And imagine having that entire script narrated, professionally narrated. That is an impressive addition, and this is free. I've seen narration apps be added as a cost to players, and nowhere near 700 plus pages, approaching 900 pages worth of. If they bound this all together, all the scenario books, all the scenario script books, over 700 pages. Again, bordering on 900 pages. That's it. That's an impressive and generous. They could have 100%. They could have charged for that, but they didn't. They've just made a surplus of funds Like you saw at the very beginning, it's over 10 million euros. 10 million euros. That's not in US dollars. US dollars, what is 10 million euros? In the 12 million? What are we, 12 million right now? But yes, the ultimate stretch goal is this this app. Let's count these real quick, and then we'll come back and kind of look at them a little bit quick, a little bit slower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. 89 stretch goals. So we started with tactics cards. These allow players to cooperatively. So in The Witcher Old World, it was a competitive game. In The Witcher Legacy, it is a cooperative legacy game. And fighting alongside your Witcher friends at the table with you, some of these tactics cards will allow you to provide extra support for those combat scenarios. They've been adding a bunch of stuff to the bestiary. Now, if you look at, I really like the way that Go On Board has done this. They kind of add it to a set. So every time you'll see tactics cards. So if we get more tactics cards, they'll clearly put that as the banner for that particular set. And they'll even add another banner, whether or not it's community driven, whether or not it's content that you can bring from Legacy over into Old World, which is the previous game. So there is some backwards compatibility here. People are also asking for forward compatibility, taking things from Old World and bringing it into Legacy. Primarily the monsters that don't get repeated in Legacy, and some monsters do make a return in Legacy. I mean, 'cause the monsters are there, they've been there longer than some of the Witchers have been, or at least that species has. So it'd be nice to bring some of the monsters that aren't already in Legacy and bring them forward. Even maybe some playable characters. That's probably the next highest requested item that backers and supporters are clambering over. Like, yeah, give us more, and they've given us a lot. And a lot of this is free stuff. You make one pledge, you do not have to change your pledge, and you still get all this other stuff for free that the community has been pumping into more funds. And that's the great economy of scale, is the ability to have surplus funds to where they can give to the community these free stretch goals. And it is free. Regardless of what people may assume is, it's all planned, it's all just, worked into the actual price of the game. No one foresaw it's going to be over 90 stretch goals for free. The app itself would easily be $15, $20. You could easily charge that in US dollars. You could easily charge $20 for that much narration, but that's free. It's free. So as we scroll through these stretch goals, all of these are free. They are, you make a pledge. That pledge price has not gone up. So it's not like they're charging us more for this stuff. It's because they have a surplus of income. And everything that you see here, like I said, it's nicely organized, so hey, they're adding more to this particular set of stretch goals. So tactics cards, bestiary. So if you see the bestiary, we're adding new monsters. You'll see this little banner right here that says it is something that is backwards compatible into Witcher Old World. We've got advanced action cards. Advanced action cards kind of return from the advanced action cards that we got in the Witcher Old World. Now this is a completely different game. It is inspired by the mechanics, that deck building mechanic that I talked about that I really love. It's taking that mechanic to allow the players to interact with the world, move around the board, fight monsters. So they are giving you components to take the new monsters in The Witcher Legacy and allow you to play with those monsters, fight those monsters, kill those monsters in the Witcher Old World. Very, very generous to do that. So, bestiary, new monster, new advanced cards. So this is the Witcher's Craft, so you'll see this banner. So, oh, they're adding more to that particular upgraded component list. Quality upgrades, that's very common with crowdfunding projects, is your game quality becomes better as they have the economy of scale working behind them to say, all right, we have this money, we're going to be making more and more. The manufacturers say, well, yeah, the bigger order you give us, the cheaper we can make it. So they start upgrading components. It's a very common thing. They'll go from single layer cardboard to double layer cardboard. They'll go from thinner cards to thicker cards. They'll give it a linen finish, which gives it a nice surface texture to the cards and makes them more durable, more rigid. So you'll see that happen. So thicker cards, quality upgrade, adding more to the Witcher's Craft with mutagens, more Witcher's Craft mutagens, bombs. Here's the linen finish that we talked about, another bestiary with a succubus, more cards. Like the cards are what drive this game's interaction, so you'll see a lot of those upgrades. Again, more. Resource trophies for the Witcher's Craft, new bestiary, the bestial cunning, new opponent attack cards. Again, community driven. Gamefound exclusive. Now, these exclusives, these backpack tiles, while not necessary to play and enjoy the game, it is something that the players can put to the side and just have this thematic upgrade table presence. So the Gamefound exclusive backpack tiles, again, these are all stretch goals, all free things. You're not having to add additional money to your pledge. Add more monsters. And these wraiths from the Witcher Old World. Now, wraiths exist. They're not duplicating, they're giving you this new sculpt, and painting this is going to be wickedly challenging. I'm not a professional painter, but I do like to paint. I still have all my Kingdom Death Monster that I need to paint, and I have all of that, at least the playable content of Kingdom Death Monster. I have a lot, but I've painted a lot. I've gotten better over time. But it'd be challenging for me to show skill, and I hate thinking that I would mess up anything, but I mean, with practice and time, you get better with anything. Personal story cards, so every Witcher has a personal story that they can, side quest into, and that's what these personal story cards, so Stories Untold, you'll see that banner, so you'll know it's specific to one of the 4 Witchers. Monsters, cards, more mutagens, potions, new monsters, action cards, Stories Untold. Now this is a scenario expansion, and it was the first one, I believe, that we scrolled by. It is the first new scenario, no matter the cost. I believe the original crowdfunding beginning for this project for Legacy had 9. I think that took us up. I think we got taken up to 13 in the core set, and then you could add expansions to bring that to 16. There are 3 expansions that add narrative scenarios, but we'll kind of maybe try to keep track of it as we go through this stuff. New mechanics added to the bestiary, new attack cards added to the bestiary, the upgrade. So in the Witcher Old World, you had the when you played with another player competitively, the other player would control the monster, and they would pick whether or not it would be the top portion of the card, which was a charge, or the bottom portion of the card, which is a bite, and they would randomly pick that and then flip the monster's attack card. And that fight card, attack card, would say how much damage they're doing to the player. Now, because this is cooperative, you kind of want to give it to the RNG gods, and so now they have a token that you can flip. Now, you'll see later in some of the stretch goals that they also have a dice option, if that's something you like. You could also, I suppose, just randomly pick the top or bottom and then still flip the card if you wanted to. But that's what this token upgrade is. It's now a metal coin. So when you flip it, it'll tell you which attack profile to use for that monster attack. Witch's Craft Veril is now for the solo game. You as a solo player will push into the game, and I'm sorry, Eldon, my friend, I see you drop it in there. I only have the chat over here on my left periphery, so sorry I missed you coming in. My man is obsessed with that Witcher 4K stuff. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm obsessed with like the strength of this community that has now extended this game to almost a full week beyond the original timer. So the timer is still going. And this, I love board games, and video games reinforce my love of board games and vice versa. And when it has to do with video games that I love, Cyberpunk 2077, when I play a Cyberpunk board game, it makes me want to go and play the video game even more and just dive more into the lore, more into the characters, and just interact with this world in different ways. But welcome, Eldon. Thank you so much. Eldon is a very good friend, has gotten me into Dark Souls and appreciate a difficult game, and I play all of my video games on the hardest difficulty now because of my friend Eldon here. But yeah, welcome. Thanks for being here, Eldon. Hope you're having a good moment in time of gaming and you're enjoying yourself. I'm gonna have to make sure that I hydrate a lot because I'm gonna be yapping. My controller went out again, so that's why the music has stopped. No need to be sorry. I know how much you love to talk. Yeah, I enjoy sharing and giving as much positivity because there's also some negativity behind crowdfunding projects, as there always is, and that's primarily a perception of value. But the community is resounding, is without a doubt very, 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 very positive. You're always going to have the outliers that will come in and provide their negative perspective, sometimes a forced perspective, sometimes no constructive feedback whatsoever. But the majority of the negative feedback comes with that constructive, hey, this is what I'd like to see, this is how I'd like to see it done, versus just, I don't like this done. Well, what part of it you don't like? I've seen a lot of comments that will come in, and when I say a lot, it's a handful compared to, I think we're at over 30 to 40,000 comments, and a vast majority of those are all positive, but there are some negative feedback, and when those come in, that's valuable to the team. But if you come in and just say, I hate this game and I hate the team, I go on board, okay, then that doesn't provide anything. Like, what do you hate about it? Okay, I appreciate your feedback, it's very valuable, but what is it that we can do to be better? But that comes with every crowdfunding project has those like injections of perception of value, and it's okay. Like, everybody has a different perception of value, and that is valuable to the creators. But yeah, overwhelmingly positive and overwhelmingly generous is the team at Go On Board. So we talked about the flip coin, and again, let me know. I'll try to check over. I'm having a good time playing Elden Ring again. Yeah, I need to get. I'm waiting for. What is that game that's coming out? That's it's not like a Dark Souls. I think my next anticipated game that'll probably come out in 2026 is Exodus. I'm a big Mass Effect fan as well. I'm primarily sci-fi. Cyberpunk is my top genre, then it goes sci-fi, and then fantasy. But again, all it takes is something like a really good board game to redirect my attention, and now I'm kind of into fantasy, but Cyberpunk will always be at the top, my preferred, and that's thanks to Ghost in the Shell. So Veril, we kind of stopped there before our friend Eldon dropped in. Veril is a companion that the player can take alongside their player in the solo game. So as they're playing solo, they'll have Veril there with them, and Veril will grow with the player as well. More monsters to the bestiary, equipment cards. This is where we talked about the players can use the flip coin. If they don't like the flip coin, they can use a die if they prefer to roll for what the monster does. But this also adds not just the ability to supplement or instead of using the flip coin, you instead use the die. The die also comes with the critical monster hit die. So you can see it still has the two sides, but one of those sides has a critical hit, but you can still use that critical hit just as this top symbol here, kind of a 50-50. But one of those, I believe it's one of the 6 sides, so it's a 1 out of 6 chance that you'll get the critical hit. But if you're just using it for the flip token, then you see that symbol, you just use it for the regular symbol instead of the crit. But it gives options to the player. More to the bestiary, more monsters to fight, a great way to save your game. People were asking, hey, what's the best way to save the game so I can stop mid-scenario and then return to it right away? They provided that for free. They've got a side story here for a particular one of the Witchers, and they had the dog companion that you can bring along. I'm not sure 100% how it works. I don't want to spoil too much, not even for myself or other people. But this dog here was named by the community. They decided to call him Garlic. But they're also, which is cool, the community name is Garlic. If you want to keep the community name, awesome. If you don't want to keep the community name and you want to name the dog whatever you want to, I might name mine Moss, or Leo, or whatever you want to name it. They're going to provide reusable blank stickers that you can write whatever you want to on it, and then the sticker can be removed. Maybe heck, even just put a wet erase marker and put the name on there, and when you're ready to change it, just wipe that name off and start over, because you can completely reset this game. It is a legacy game. Gameplay permanence is there. Your choices matter and will carry throughout the game, but when you're done, you haven't destroyed any component. There's no irreversible action. You can take it back to its beginning game state and start all over again with a new group of friends. Or you know what, you just want to make different choices, because there's going to be choices that you make that will not give you access to other things. So when you replay it, you get to see other things and make different choices, level up your character differently. We talked about stickers that'll go on the card. All of those are reusable stickers, and it's not the glue stickers. There's no adhesive. It's air suction technology. And they have I think it's almost like a 10-minute video showing the lead designer, Lucas, go in and dip the stickers into oil, into water, get it dirty, wipe it off, and it still works. And he did this like I think 50 times or 15 times. He put the sticker on, took it off, put it on. They did a time lapse just watching him do this, and the stickers were fine. So it's an air suction technology that just sticks based on that text. So reusable, thumbs up, evolution of legacy games. No need to destroy your games. But I think if you wanted to, you could destroy your game if you wanted to. Let's say that you finish your campaign and you have this grouping of stuff that you haven't even seen. If you'd like to take those components and rip them up and throw them in the trash, set them on fire or whatever too, safely, I guess you can. You absolutely can do that. I'm not saying to do that. I would never advocate for destroying such a valuable game, but I'm sure that you could. I guarantee you people probably won't. Those that were asking for it to be a tear-up game legacy, I guarantee you they're not going to tear up the stuff. But if you wanted to, I imagine you could. So armory set, people, again, community-driven, something that the community was asking for. It's not a loot game, so it's not going to be like the looting that you could do, but there is cool resources and loot to gather and discover. But people were asking, hey, can we have these particular armory kind of set stuff and these particular types of gear? So they were starting to add that. They upgraded the card for Veril to a cardboard. So again, component upgrade. Now this is where Vesemir dropped in, and he allowed for a 5th player in the endgame. So there's 4 Witchers to play as in the main campaign, so there's 4 players in the campaign. Vesemir is added to the endless end game. So the one that you can just play over and over again like you would for the Witcher Old World. And every time I look at these particular particular scenarios, they look like a old world board. There's so much content just in this one scenario that will take at least 4 hours to play this one scenario. And there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 of these. So much. Yeah, so, and again, some of the scenarios are a little bit shorter, like the tutorial opening scenario is probably around 2 hours. So some of them faster, some of them longer, some of them are 5+ hours. But then the end game is where you plug in Vesemir. So you'll see Vesemir pop up here, Geralt and Yennefer as we're scrolling through these side quests. Community asking for more and more side quests. The community was asking for more and more and more, and go on board. Delivered, and they continuously delivered. In the end game, they were continuing to add content. So anybody that would come in and say, I don't feel like there's enough here for me, please come back and look at what they've added. It is so much. So side quests, more monsters, another full scenario. End game scenario, it's the new cards. So there are scenarios in the end game that give you continued narrative. It's not just a hack and slash and go out and fight. Because Witcher is so rich in the lore, they are continuing to make it rich in the lore and story. It would be really cool to see some of the stuff that Go On Board creates. And again, they have been in close collaboration with CD Projekt Red, the team that's making these Witcher video games based on the books, and they are making Witcher 4 right now with Ciri as the main playable character. So yeah, it's nothing but good. And for me, as a love of narrative games, I love story. I even love when a game has the little tiny flavor text at the bottom of a game card. Like, yeah, I want to know more about the world. The world building is like something I love to see a team do. And Go On Board and have done that in spades. They definitely extended the love of the Witcher lore. Equipment cards, more monsters. This is where Yennefer dropped. Everybody was asking for a playable female character. Now there's obviously discussion about where lore limit breaking or breaking the limits of the lore, however you want to put that together with putting female Witchers. Now people were asking for female Witchers. And it's okay to ask. It's absolutely okay to ask. You're going to have lore guards come in and tell you, no. There are no female Witchers. I've said this before in my previous videos, and I educate myself with every community member that comes in and says, actually, it's this way. So again, I am not the end-all expert of lore. I am not claiming that at all. So full disclosure, I can make mistakes in the lore as well, and I've learned a lot. And when you read more and play more games and read the books and watch the series, and you'll see where there are misses, where there are connections to everything, where there's cohesiveness, where there's canonical and non-canonical choices based on who's directing the this particular medium, whether or not it be comics, whether or not it be video games, whether or not it be board games, live action shows, movies. It's all going to skip over, bounce into each other, mesh, synergize. All that's going to happen, especially when you have such a passionate community behind such a loved IP. So again, like Yennefer is being added, people were asking for a female player character. The vast majority of people were asking for a female character to play as. They weren't asking for a female Witcher, but there are people asking for a female Witcher. Ciri's probably the closest thing we're going to get to a female Witcher right now. She is not a Witcher. She was trained by Witchers. She has her own magical powers with her elder blood, and she's not a Witcher though. The author did not say anything about female Witchers not being possible, but there have been no surviving females who have gone through the trial of grasses. They can't survive it. So the author has never said there cannot be. There just is not. So to add a female Witcher right now would be a non-canonical surprise, and if they work that into the narrative, like, well, now there's a female Witcher and this is why, but right now females cannot survive it. But she's a sorceress, so yeah, she could be a playable character. Yeah, bring her in. She's not part of the canon. She's a non-canonical playable character. But yeah, big applause to bringing Yennefer in. Everybody wants Ciri to be a playable character in this game as well. And again, non-canonical, and that's okay. It's just kind of throwing it. It's like bringing in classic characters in a fighting game. It's like, well, wait a second, didn't that character die? No, we're just bringing him in to be playable, to let the players have fun. Primarily, I think of like Mortal Kombat and all the characters in there that have died but haven't died. You still get to play as them. Yeah, so more bestiary cards. These stories untold, really excited to see more of that. More side quest stories added, more stories untold. So anytime you see the stories untold, those are stories untold with the personal stories banner up here. The personal stories are one of the 4 Witchers that we're playing as that will add more to their background. The Jort, more monsters. There's where Geralt dropped. Like, Geralt's finally here. I do like these side quests that add map pages. So primarily you'll be playing on a map board for every scenario. Very nice, lushly, beautifully art. It's so good looking. But there's also the side story in the side quest script book that you open the page, and there will be a mini encounter map on that page. So that's what you see kind of right here. There is quite a bit more to explore. So look forward to that. Here's more tactics cards that we talked about, allowing players to interact during fights, help each other in different ways. More to the monsters, more to the stories untold. Potions. So we're going to be crafting potions, picking up resources. So potion cards, you could come across potion cards probably in encounters, like take a potion card. But some potion cards, I'd say the majority of the way to get potions is to craft them. Fleder, more monsters. You're going to see that a lot. More monsters, more monsters, more monsters, as rightfully so, because Witchers do what? Witchers fight monsters. Stories untold. Ifrit looks so good. You know, when I first started painting miniatures, I painted a fire spirit, and the way that I painted it, and this was the wrong way to do it, is I painted it orange and then yellow and then white. And I think you're supposed to go in the opposite direction because it's hotter at the top, so it'd be red at the top, right? Because here's how I did it. I think I went orange, yellow, and then dry brushed it white, because I thought that's how everything should be highlighted, but that's not the way to do it. At least somebody told me that's not the way to do it. Actually, let's look at this one. Let's see if they showed the painted miniature. Well, like, to me, it's white. Maybe I did it the other way. I should go grab that. I did it the wrong way. Somebody told me it was like, maybe what I did was go white and then red dry brush on it. I did it. I'm going to have to get that one. Whenever I start painting these, maybe I'll make videos of me painting these. Probably not as a, hey, look how good to paint them. Just like, hey, I finally started to paint them. I've started to paint my Witcher Old World miniatures finally. All right, so more mutagens, advanced action cards, adding to the Witcher craft pool, adding to the bestiary with the Fiend, adding more to the Witcher's craft, adding more to the Witcher's craft, more stories untold, more narrative, more. You see, they're just adding. This card, I love this tavern set. Even if so I put together a dice version of Gwent. Again, we're not trying to play Gwent. There's already the Gwent game. But you would take 6 d6 dice and 1 different colored d6 dice, and then the players would roll their 3 dice each, and then they'd be able to change it based on what faction. It would just be very basic, like take a die and turn it to the other side. Then you'd roll a weather die, and that would change and have different effects on it. And I put that into the comment section of this board game crowdfunding project page, and I kind of put that in there. It was just a Witcher, like a very summarized. It's not it's not the Gwent game proper, but it was cool to see this because Gwent exists. Not that you're necessarily playing the Gwent game in the board game, it's just it exists within the world. It's almost as if, let's say that Ciri has a small encounter in the narrative. Like maybe she can fold space and time and compress it, and she can travel through time. So what if they make a mention of an ashen-haired girl, like with green eyes? Like they just say that. Like it's sort of like when Siri said something about, I went into a time where I saw flying cars and metal in people's faces, and everybody feels like that was her going into Cyberpunk 2077. Like she saw it, which everybody also assumed that maybe Siri would be a playable character or an NPC that you would encounter with in Cyberpunk 2077. Just sort of a connection of the universes. And there is little Easter eggs throughout Cyberpunk 2077 across the gaming industry. So you'll probably see some nods to The Witcher, to Death Stranding, to Grand Theft Auto, to all games that we know and love. You see that, but it was cool to see this Gwent card set. So it's present and exists. I don't necessarily need to play a mini-game version of it, but it'd be cool if they were able to make it work. But they didn't announce it. There's still gambling in the game, so still little side things to do and to enjoy. Stopping over at the tavern and having an encounter there. So more stuff to the Witcher's Craft, more cards, more monsters, more narrative for the end game. More monster. Here's the Slizzard comes inbound. More narrative for the end game. This is where companions drop. So we have Dandelion, Mousak, we have Yarpen and Zoltan. Also Lambert, Eskil, Kira Metz, Trish Marigold, Philippa. Like they're just kept dropping. And then a Forktail dropped, and people were like, yes, Forktail. And then they dropped a Cockatrice, and everybody's like, oh my god! And there was a person's Lochi, and I keep forgetting this. Lochi Dagra. Lochi hyphen or underscore hyphen or underscore GR81. And it's in this, if you click on the Cockatrice, which we might as well do since we're talking about it, they talk about, sorry, this was actually in one of the updates, so we won't do that, but you can go into one of the updates where they announce the Cockatrice being unlocked, and Lochi de Gras, and we all started doing this chant, and we started summoning the the gods that will this into existence, and they actually made it happen. So this was the last during the live campaign stretch goal that was unlocked. Again, no funding was required. They call it a law of surprise, where no extra funding, we're just giving it to you as a thank you. And then we go into the end game. So in the end game, again, the end game's purpose isn't primarily to add more content. They absolutely did, but that wasn't the primary purpose of it. The primary purpose was to keep the door open for new backers to come in, and that is awesome. So we, as a community, helped extend that, and it's still ongoing. Let's jump over to the top of the page after this, and we'll see where it's still out. But these are extra side quests to do. And this is, the community thought, well, we're just going to continue to get, they're just one card. Again, not primary purpose to add more content, but they continued to add a card for every day that we extended it. Some people might see that as like, wait, we only get one card? Wait, we've gotten over 86 stretch goals already. So yeah, more is nice. Not required, but nice. And obviously, I think, yes, if they're earning so much more money, then maybe they should give us more. But if they don't, we've already got a really good product. But you know what? Go on board delivered, as they do. They love surprises. They love the community. They love giving back and saying thank you to the community. And the way that they did that was then add another monster miniature. They brought in Alp, vampiric goodness for everybody. And it's like, cool, that's it. And then we got some more cards. We got some more cards. We got some more cards. And then they drop a narrative app. And again, for free. Everybody's getting this. Everybody gets it. Sorry, Witcher 3 still in main menu. Geralt meditating full force there. Yeah, I'm not going to be playing The Witcher 3 on this one. I just had it there to maybe have some background music and to know that like Witchers are always ready and waiting to carry out their duties. Again, I won't be playing any today. This is just a stream to talk about where the project is at, and I wanted to cover the excitement that I have for it, the excitement that the community has. We'll kind of end here with probably no more than an hour. But I'd like to go back up to the comment section. Let's take a look at where the project is at right now. And if I miss the ending, which I don't think is going to happen, let me hit the refresh. Hopefully it stays on that screen and the stream stays up. Let's see what happens when it refreshes. I've never actually done that to see if anything was going to happen. That's Lucas right there. Like, oh my gosh, we've made it this far. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? Like, I believe. We all believed. We all believed that they could do it, and they absolutely have. So we're currently at 10.3 million. They made an extra 1.7 million euros, having extended it by 6 days, 20 hours, 27 minutes. We're approaching 7 days. And then if that full day, then that's a full week of extended time. And 15,000 people. That could include new backers or existing backers before this in-game started, because by the time the in-game began, we were a little over 25,000 backers. So we've gotten at least an extra 5,000 backers, because I've seen some pledged numbers in the 30,000, so we've got over 30,000 backers. So it's not 15,000 new backers. Again, I've only seen comments by. Just because you back doesn't mean you're going to make a comment. So heck, we could be at 40,000 backers. We'll have that number whenever the project ends. But like, they raised, and I was one of them. I added more to my pledge to extend it. So, and again, when we extend it, we're resetting the clock. We're not adding extra time. We kind of are, but not in the way that maybe some people might be confused by how the end game works. So if I go in there, if 2 people go in at the same time and add more to their pledge, and the timer was at 9 minutes and 30 seconds, it's not going to add an extra 10 minutes for each of us. It's not going to add an extra 20 minutes. What it's going to do is reset the timer to 10 minutes. So if I come in at 9:30 and hit reset, it's going to go to 10 minutes. If the next person comes in a second after I did, and it goes to 9 minutes and 59 seconds, it's only going to reset it to 10 minutes again. It's not going to add 10 minutes per. But enough people have been doing this, and you'll see sometimes they'll strategically wait, and I feel like there's a good group out there that's just waiting for it to get right down to 0 seconds, and even after the 0 seconds, there's a buffer. It's like, yeah, just to be sure, and then sure enough, somebody hits the pledge. Saw that happen a couple of times during the weekday, but you know, the holidays, maybe people are out of school, maybe they're on holiday vacation, now they have more time to sit there and it's like, oh, I didn't know this was even available, so then they'll come in. And like, there's YouTube videos out saying like it has now become the highest funded Gamefound project in history. It is the longest end game in history, and they are just pushing and pushing and pushing through these barriers, not barriers, but they're pushing through these record milestones that have been set by its predecessor. Nemesis Retaliation was the highest funded project, and I think we can actually bring up those stats and see where it's at right now, see if it's actually updated the all-time winningest. But yeah, I think we'll go look at that. I think if we go to the Gamefound page right here, let's see, make sure that shows up on stream. You can see like the timer's now at 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Will it get reset? Dragon Eclipse, I was thinking about getting a Dragon Eclipse, but it's got 1 hour left to go, and it has raised 2.2 million. We'll see how long it's in game. I was thinking of getting this one, but because this one was happening at the same time, I think it might be timing wise. They're both in a holiday. Timing wise, like this, I think Witcher might be competing. And when I say competing, it's like, I guess it could be pulling some, like, which one do I choose? But this is also a reprint and an expansion, so a lot of people already have Dragon Eclipse, and they may just be adding the extra. They're not necessarily adding the base game. For me, it would be if I got Dragon Eclipse, which it looks really good. It's like a Pokemon game, but beautiful miniatures. But let's see. Do we scroll down here? I forget how to look. Yeah, there it is right there. They've already got it on there. Legacy all-time record, the biggest campaign in Gamefound's history. The astonishing Nemesis Retaliation record has been broken. The Witcher Legacy has raised over 12,183,711. Now that's obviously continuing to go on, and its end game is still on. So passing the torch, Nemesis Retaliation bowing out. Congratulations to The Witcher Legacy. You have the watch. All right, so by funding rankings last 24 hours, so The Witcher Legacy has earned an extra 134,000 in the last 24 hours. Immediate Murder Professionals sounds cool. I'm gonna have to look at this one. And then Dragon Eclipse has earned 310. Now it's going to start ramping up as well, Dragon Eclipse. And again, Witcher Legacy's been going on for almost an extra week now. But so that was the last 24 hours. Let's look at all-time records. Nemesis is still showing all-time highest record. Now, this is 17 million total with the late pledges and people adding more money. Now, we probably have at least an extra 6 months to when they open up the pledge manager for Witcher Legacy. They're going to allow more people to come in. Now, those extras during the late pledge aren't going to get some of the free stuff, but they are going to have the opportunity to get some of the exclusive stuff because they backed it. Now, there is live exclusives, there are price exclusives, and then there are just exclusives. You can look more into that, but depending on when you get in, there will be stuff that is free and stuff that you won't have available. Just depending on when you finally get your copy. If you buy it in retail, you're probably not going to get any of the exclusives. Likely will not get any of the exclusives. So right now, Witcher Legacy is number 3 all-time funding. Now, when we talk about all-time versus current funding, now how much did they raise during the live campaign? Well, the Witcher Legacy has won that one. Funding of all time. So let's say by audience, who's winning by audience? Nemesis Retaliation is still there. Audience 74,000 with The Witcher Legacy, and I believe this one is primarily the followers, right? So over 70,000 for Cyberpunk 2077. So Go On Board has 2 in the top 3, and I can see this going up to number 1 over time. Audience will grow, and funding will grow. I could easily see Lands of Evershade jumping up as it gets more late pledges. I have Lands of Evershade coming in as well. I was never a Nemesis player. I've certainly played the game, but I've never been a backer of Nemesis. It's cool that they originally were probably going to be like an Alien game, but then it's like, all right, we can't get that license. We'll just continue forward and make a cool game, and success. Yeah. All right, let's jump into some comments, and then we'll call that a good stream. Let me check my overall time here. We're at 1 hour 12 minutes, so I think we'll end it here pretty soon. Let's check comments. Maybe answer some questions if there are some. There's bound to be questions. All right, let's click on. Oh, look at that! 10 seconds. 10, 8, 7. 6. Oh, are we gonna be here when it actually no, that was an old timer. See, like the timers that you're on a page don't reset automatically. Refresh your screen. Like even this timer itself, I think is more refreshing automatically. But I've had my phone app up and watching that timer, but that one it seemed to be different, and it doesn't refresh like a desktop does. So I was looking, I was like, oh my gosh, it's at 0. But then I look back at my desktop or my laptop, and it's like, oh, it's already reset. So yeah, we're still going, my friends. All right, let's jump into the comments for a couple minutes here. Let's see what people are talking about. Enjoy says, record. How many miniatures total now for the all-in? I think it's 57. Yeah, that's pretty close. I haven't followed the campaign since I'm not backing, but I know the campaign has ended some time ago, but the endgame is still going. That is amazing feat and accomplishment. Congrats to Go On Board for offering something that could build and apparently sustain this community of backers. Congrats, backers, on showing them your support. Now hoping the next Witcher version they release is a proper adventure dungeon crawler. so that I can back it. All right, so doesn't prefer this particular legacy, wants a dungeon crawler. It's like half the world is watching this project. The sun never sets. Backer never sleeps. It's a truly amazing community. That's part of why I didn't back Berserk. The community was so negative, it turned me off. I did back Berserk. Gosh, I don't think I really commented that much in Berserk, but I have all of, I don't know if you guys can see this, I don't think my camera even shows it, but I have the entire stack of, actually let me see if I can rotate my camera, do a little show and tell. I have all of the Berserk books kind of stacked up over here. Let me see if this can even get in the frame. Let me grab my second screen here and we'll see if this is something that you guys can actually see. Alright, so move it over just a little bit more. Alright, so let me increase the screen so I can see. Let's go into a big screen. I know we're talking about a completely different game, but who cares, right? Alright, so this entire stack right here is all Berserk. Like, I've got all, I think there's 14 total books right now in that series. And those books, in and of themselves, are simply like compilations of even more. So there's more than 14 like manga books, which is primarily the way it started. But they've done those compilation books, a collection. So I'm going through all of Berserk right now. But I did back that. Yeah, but the communities are always going to be different. So find the ones that you like. There's going to be some that you absolutely don't like. There's definitely been some community members in every project that I've done. It's like, wait a second, why are you here? That's why I didn't back Berserk. Community was so negative, it turned me off. There has been a few people like that. Thankfully, they get almost immediately drowned out. Yeah, definitely drowned out. In-game Chronicle Entry 6, Bart. I think Bart has done a couple of these in-game chronicles. Obviously, he shows that he's at number 6. Just comes in and just lays out some, the world is now opening, and just makes this amazing little, like, this is where we are now. Only a few hours to 1 week of extended time. Well, it's gonna be, you need to go through the full day 7. Right? No, I guess maybe it isn't, right? So we've extended by 6 days and 19 hours. Yeah, just a couple hours and it will be the full week. I've been thinking like, yeah, we got to go through a full 7th day, but we're kind of in the 7th day right now. But, well, yeah, it's nuts, right? It's nuts. We haven't quite achieved 7 full days, but we're certainly there. Yeah, most of it's all positive. Everything's positive. Yeah. It's easily able to drown out anybody that comes in and says, well, didn't you know that this negative thing exists? Well, but it's not really negative. It's just a feeling. And if it is negative, then give feedback on how you think it could be better, which is I think it's more rare to actually have constructive negative feedback. It's mostly just positive feedback of things that need to be changed. There's not a lot of back and forth anymore when there certainly used to be. It always starts that way, at least what I've seen. I think the real test will be Christmas. Like, we're pretty much in it. Yeah, I mean, I think once the holidays, people aren't going to be like sitting in front of the screen. Some do. I'd certainly come back and check it. I'm very curious to see if it'll survive through the holidays, where people are sitting around the Christmas tree or not sitting around a tree, or just doing whatever they're doing to celebrate holidays, celebrating time off from work. The New Year would probably be, that's a global event. But everybody celebrates New Year at a different time, so if you're at one end of the planet and the New Year's over for you, then you jump back over here to click the button. It could absolutely go much further than what we're seeing here. But yeah, mostly all positive, a lot of good community feedback. Freddy, the real one, has been really active in the community, giving people the answers that they need, amongst many others. But yeah, like I think this is where the last one I made before I started the stream will leave a lasting legacy on the crowdfunding world. Cool, maybe we get something special for it other than a side quest. Yeah, but listen, Silver, like there are already a ton of stuff. We've already gotten something special. We've got a ton of special stuff for like every bit that we've contributed to this Endgame, everything that we've contributed to funding the project. Like we have gotten a lot. You can't say maybe. We could probably maybe get something a little extra, but we've got a lot of something special. But yeah, they could give us nothing more. I'd be fine with that. They have mentioned that there could be an art book in the pledge manager. That would be something cool to add. But yeah, almost a full week. We're very close to that. We're not going to be here for it whenever that timer rolls over, but that is something that we will certainly talk about if it continues on into full 7 days. Very, very impressed. I think if you haven't already become a part of this, I highly recommend you guys jumping in on it. It would be highly valuable to you. The perception of value is no question. There is a ton of value here. If it's not your game, you don't like a narrative game, you don't even like the Witcher IP, then that wouldn't have value for you. That's okay as well. But even if you're not a Witcher fan, maybe this could make you be one. I could definitely see Witcher 4 having a female character as the primary protagonist, playable throughout the entire game, might bring people into The Witcher, and then that game will make people go play Witcher 3, then play Witcher 2, then play Witcher 1, then maybe come to the board games, then get into the live action series if they know nothing about The Witcher. I didn't play any Witcher games or read any of the books until I came across Witcher 2, and then I started following the series. But yeah, and the board games made me get back into the series. Then I'm going to go play all the games to exhaustion. Probably give it as much time as I have Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, it's nothing but good. Nothing but good. Nothing but positive, and that's the way I like it. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I didn't want to make this too long. It went a little bit over an hour, but thank you so much for your time. Again, your time is the most valuable resource you have, and huge shout out to Go On Board. The team has done very, very well. Congratulations for breaking all the records. It's going to continue, and they have a long road ahead of them of hard work. So the community is here to support. We'll be in the Discord. If you want to go over there, you can find Go On Board's Discord. We'll be hanging out over there. Yeah, they're pretty active in sharing what they enjoy about all of Go On Board's board games. We'll be in the comment section as much as we can, helping out late pledgers if they have questions. And we'll be streaming games, and I'm going to try to start streaming some board game content. I've made YouTube videos about Go On Board's Path of Destiny game. When I got that, it's such a gorgeous game. I'm going to do the same thing when Cyberpunk 2077 drops. I might go back and do a full one for kind of what I've blinged out my Witcher Old World board game for. But yeah, it's an achievement that has nothing but earned applause. So again, congratulations to the Go On Board team. Enjoy your well-deserved holidays, and I'll probably see you guys again very, very soon. Maybe this year, maybe next year, but next year's not that far off. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. Bye.